John Sidney McCain. I watched and listened in disdain this past weekend as some of my worst fears about the presidential race came true. I, along with many other Americans, have received those bullshit emails calling Barack Obama a Muslim, about how he is a terrorist with a grand plan of infiltrating our government. Months ago, I scoffed at this as typical spam, thinking that no rational person could actually digest this garbage and believe it as fact. That is what I believed. This is what I heard.
That guy gets elected, he hangs around with terrorists.
Who's the terrorist?
Obama.
Obama's a terrorist, don't you know that?
Obama's a Muslim, he's a terrorist himself.
You believe that Senator Obama is a terrorist?
I believe he supports terrorism.
A terrorist.
Screw Obama! Boo!
And he is a Muslim.
So is Senator Obama an American too?
I don't know what he is.
I have read about him, and he's an Arab.
Along with all of that, we've also heard other venomous comments from various people in the crowd at your rallies. Comments like treason, off with his head, kill him. John Sidney McCain, you reap what you sow. You did this. This is what you have led people to believe. You made a calculated decision to go down this path, and this is where it has led you. You cannot act like you didn't mean for this to happen. We believe what our leaders say. In the run-up to the Iraq War, President Bush continued to say Saddam Hussein and 9/11 in the same speech over and over again. As a result, at the start of the war, nearly 70% of Americans believed that Saddam Hussein had something to do with 9/11. You cannot put the dots out there and act surprised when we connect them. We believe our leaders, especially in America, where we have freedom of speech, freedom of the press. We live in a democratic society, not in a fascist state. Our leaders speak the truth. Well, they're supposed to. John Sidney McCain. In the year 2000, I would have voted for you. I was outraged at the sleazy tactics used against you in the South Carolina primary. Your opponent, then Governor George Bush, unleashed an ad campaign the likes of which a primary in South Carolina had not seen in years. You had just won the New Hampshire primary. The Bush campaign was behind the eight ball and desperately needed a win. They spent a huge amount of money on this campaign. And what was the message of all their advertising? That your wife Cindy was a drug addict and your daughter Bridget was a black child you fathered out of wedlock. Despicable. This is what you said back in 2000 in response to all this garbage.
I just have to rely on the good judgment of the voters not to buy into these negative attack ads. Sooner or later, people are going to figure out that if all you run is negative attack ads, you don't have much of a vision for the future.
John Sidney McCain, you are responsible for the campaign tactics of McCain-Palin 2008. You cannot allow your surrogates to infer this bullshit about Barack Hussein Obama and not take responsibility. The buck stops at the top.
I'm John McCain, and I approve this message.
You, John Sidney McCain, are responsible for all of this. My father fought in the Vietnam War. He served 3 tours over there. He was a career Marine. He was honored to serve his country and bravely fought for my right to have a better life, to live in a better world, to raise my children in a world without oppression, without prejudice, without fear. Is this what I am to expect from a Vietnam veteran like my father? One who served honorably with men and women from all walks of life? One who was willing to stay in prison with his brothers instead of returning home? The politics of fear and division is all that you have left? John Sidney McCain, you continue to say that this campaign is all about the issues. Yet for the last 2 weeks, I've heard nothing from you but Bill Ayers this, terrorist that, Palestinian contributions this, Chicago politician that. In the meantime, the stock market has dropped more than 20%. The nation has lost approximately $3 trillion. Yet all you have to offer is angry name-calling. John Sidney McCain, you created this monster. The voters of the Republican Party, as with the Democrats, follow their leader. You are the leader of the Republican Party. You led them into this abyss. You created, approved, and promoted this agenda, which has your followers believing that Barack Hussein Obama is a Muslim terrorist. The global economy is collapsing. Our current president is on the sidelines, relegated to the job of economic commentator. The country is looking. They are yearning for a leader. This country is ready to make sacrifices. We are ready for a leader to ask more of us than to go shopping and max out our credit cards. We are ready to suck it up and make this a better place for us all. One without prejudice, without judgment, without fear, without all of the angry voices of division consuming all that we see, hear, and read. We are ready to leave it all behind in hopes of a better world. And this is what you give us. John Sidney McCain, thanks, but no thanks.